Hey yo, how's it going, everyone? It's your boy Phoenix Grand Cross, aka X Phoenix, XYZ, aka X Phoenix, XD. Before we start, if you're at all new to the channel, make sure to subscribe because we do a lot of information videos, summonings, and guides. And also, hit the like button if you like this type of content. Go to my Twitch, go follow it. Link in the description. And let's start. So, next week, we're going to be getting a new banner with free draws. As said in this dev note, this event update on 2/8 is called Homecoming. In the update, you will get free tickets, which will be gifted, granting up to 110 draws. Now, this is going to allow a lot of units to be summoned upon. Now, there's a lot of speculation of what it could be. I, having some personal connections with some of the data miners, have said that it may just be a banner where we're going to be getting 7 dead units and commandments that you can practically get from the coin shop into a banner, and you can summon and pull some, which won't be the worst thing. It just won't be the best thing. But data miners have also said that in the data mine there is a chance we can get the Valencia and Easton banner. Now, of the two, Easton's the better one. Valencia's good, but so her passive applies infect for 2 turns on enemies who use buff skills, excluding ultimate moves, which just screws her over. She does inflict detonate damage from to 100, 150, and 250, and it's an AoE. And then her second move prevents ultimate gauge fulfilling for 1 turn, and it's 180 attack, 270, and then the last one is 450, and it does 2 turns instead of 1. Her ult just inflicts rupture damage equal to 630, going up to 945. She's an okay unit. As you can see in this chart, she's not the best. She's just a unit at that point. But Easton, as you can see in the chart, she's great in PvP, geared, ungeared, and her passive is amazing. So it increases all allies' pierce rate, crit chance, and crit damage by 5% per debuff on enemies. She's pretty good on mainly the King team, not the King team. If you use her with Hendrickson, the Demon Hendrickson, and he applies debuffs, or really anyone who applies debuffs, she can really make this team powerful. But she could also put debuffs on her own. So her first move inflicts weak point damage to 120% of attack, weak point for 180, and weak point for 300 on one enemy. But her second skill disables recovery skills for 2 turns. Disables recovery skills and prevents ultimate move gauge filling for 2 turns. Disables recovery skills, prevents ultimate move gauge for filling on all enemies, and decreases attack by 20% for 3 turns. So she can put 1, 2, or 3 debuffs. Her ult inflicts spike damage equal to 350% of attack on all enemies. She's a very good unit. If they do this, you can practically say goodbye to the Lost Vein meta and say hello to, well, every other meta. Now, after that, we're obviously getting the 1 Escanor, as confirmed in the dev notes. In addition, on the 2/15, we're going to get the 1 Escanor. Obviously, for all you free-to-play players, make sure you save all your gems for him. He is they don't show the unit rating. I think I can maybe pull it up. I don't even think they have to. He is the best unit in the game. So his passive is the hero gains a buff, which increases all stats by 6% at the start of an allied turn. When there are 3 stacks of this effect, remove debuffs and becomes immune to debuffs for 1 turn. After that, removes a stack until only 1 stack is left. Then the stacks the debuff accordingly again. So practically, he starts off with 1 stack, then every single ally turn he gets another stack. Once it gets to 3 stacks, he gets immunity, and he slowly loses the stacks until he has 1 left. Then he'll start to gain the stacks back. His first move is Super Slash, so this is his most powerful move. It inflicts Influx, which is an additional 0.8% damage per 1% remaining HP for 200% of attack, then 300, and then 500. Then he has the skill Supernova, which just inflicts 240, 360, and 600. So he's just an overall damage dealer. He inflicts damage equal to 720% of attack on one enemy, then inflicts an additional death damage, which is an additional 20% of final damage as an additional death. You really only need one of him, because with these powerful moves, you barely ever get to his ult. But if you do upgrade his ult, which is a great idea, you can get up to 1080 and up to 100% death multiplier, which is a practical insta kill. His overall combat class is amazing. I mean, you could just look at it. It's amazing. He gets crit chance, crit defense, crit damage, a lot of crit damage, and the crit chance is okay. A lot of defense, attack, HP. But yeah, he's an overall good unit. The 1 is someone you should be summoning for, especially. Then, now, this could be either way. We either get Assault Mode Melee or the Collab. Now, if we get the Collab, he's a good unit. And it's mainly for his passive. So, his passive is at the start of allies' turn, increase the max HP, crit resistance, and crit defense of all allies with 2 or less skill cards by 20% for 1 turn. And, for once per turn, when attacked, reduce the ultimate move gauge of the attacking enemy by 1 orb. He may be the free like, this collab might be the free draw, but 7 Dead would probably never do that. Like, Nanashi is probably never gonna come out as a free draw. You would have to summon for him. His first move is Wind Itachi, which inflicts 220% of attack, 220, and removes 1 ultimate orb gauge, and deletes, which randomly removes skills, 1 skill randomly, and then 360, 2 orbs, and deletes for 2 skills. Then he inflicts Despair, which recovers X amount of percent back, which is usually 15, of damage HP upon successful critical strike. So practically give him crit gear, which 130, then 195, then 325. His ult inflicts Amplify, which damage dealt plus 30% per active buff on self, equal to 630%, going all the way up to 945. So he's an overall good unit. Then we get into Assault Mode Melee. Now, I mean, just looking at the chart, he's great in practically almost everything. He's definitely amazing for PvP, geared, ungeared, passive, gray, extreme, or hell. PvP farming is pretty good, and then red and crimson are okay. So his passive is, if all allies are demons or those with commandments, when allies take damage, increase stats by 5% and decrease defense-related stats of all enemies by 15% for 2 turns. So he's practically also like a damage dealer. He inflicts Rupture, which is 2 times damage against buffed enemies. So if you're buffed like the 1, yeah. He does 100, then 150, then 250. Then he inflicts Amplify, so if he has a buff on himself, he does 180, 270, 450. His ult increases the hero's basic stats, which is attack, HP, and defense, by 50% for 3 turns, and inflicts 350% attack on all enemies. It goes from 350 all the way to 525. He should invest more on his ult than the 1, but, you know. His combat cost is pretty good. It's only 4480. I think the 1's is more. No, he's a little bit higher by 10. So he might have a little bit more combat class. And then the new unit, this will be right after. So these are some units that are going to be good to summon on. The next unit is Valencia Obsession, the mage weapon MK2. She's just released, but she's doing alright. I wouldn't say set your mind on her just yet. Wait until I get further updates. But she does increase the hero's pierce rate and crit damage by the value equal to 50% of the hero's crit resistance when entering battle. Her first move is Chain Reaction, which inflicts severe, which is 3 times crit chance increase by 120, then 180, then 300. Then she has Focus Rocket Punch, which inflicts damage equal to 160% attack on one enemy, nullifies all skill effects including ultimate move gauge by 1, excluding stance and recovery. Then the same thing, but it does 240 attack, same thing but does 400, and for 2 turns. Her ult increases damage dealt by 50% and decreases damage taken by 50% for 3 turns. Inflicts damage equal to 350% of attack on all enemies. She can go all the way up to 525. She's got some pretty okay base stats, but definitely wait for future updates. Now, on 215, I will be, or 216, whenever the one comes out, I will be doing a live stream. So, just go follow me on my Twitch, and you'll see that live stream. It will come out as a YouTube video, but if you want to see it early, definitely go check out that Twitch. It will be at 10 a.m. I will be saying this throughout until right before. But, yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video.